Betty White's death came yesterday, just 17.
Happy New Year, everyone. Let me see if we're set up. So I'm actually doing the live from home. So I hope, let me see if I have to throw another light on. Let me throw another light on. Let's see if this helps. I hope everybody had a really wonderful New Year's Eve. I, as typically, as I normally do, fell asleep, but woke up just before New Year's Eve. So I have a couple things to share with you today, and I just wanted to go through. This is the Altenew class, and I just wanted to go through the products that you get with the class because it's an amazing kit. And I know we only had 4 left in the store. We probably have 1 or 2 left because a couple people signed up. But I want to just kind of show you what you're going to get and what we're going to do because I believe I can order more. The kit is $60 and worth it. And in the class, we're really not going to focus about putting the cards together. We're going to focus on learning how to do the layer stamping and some stenciling with the kit. So let me show, well, this is a used kit. So this is my kit. And I had thought after I made the samples, if another person wanted to sign up, and this is the only one I had left, I would let them have my kit and purchase that. But that's not going to happen because I fell in love with it. So I'm not giving this away. It's an older kit from Altenew. And this is the stamp set that you're going to get with it. And for those of you that always wondered how to create this type of flower, this is what we're going to learn how to do. So everybody has to bring their, we're going to do this in Zoom and we're going to do it in the store, but you're going to need your own ink pads. I did this class, my samples with IO inks, which I'm going to show you in a little bit with the other stencil, because in their collection, they always have a light, medium, and dark. And if I have to bring a 4th color in, I have so many distressing pads that coordinate, and I have, I like Hero that I could find another color to kind of add in. So the stamp set is this particular stamp set. You also get the dies that will cut out these flowers. So that comes in that set. You also will get a stencil. So for those of you that don't like coloring or using the ink layering techniques, when you stamp this design, you have a stencil too that you can ink to create your color part. And that I don't have a sample done yet. I'm going to kind of get that done this week, but I didn't have an opportunity to do that. So that is another way to use that set. In the set, and my favorite part of this set, and I've always loved embossing folders. And this is, oh gosh, let me see. I think maybe you can see it better on here. This is a 3D embossing folder. It is not available individually. It only comes in this kit. It's the Lush Garden 3D embossing folder. And by itself, it's beautiful. But this comes with, in the kit, a series of stencils that you use with the embossing folder. And I hope this is something that that companies will start building on, especially Altenew, because they have amazing 3D folders. So I hope they continue and offer these because it is just cool what you get. So you get the embossing folder, 2 stencils, and the stamp set in this class, and the die set. And with that, these are just a couple of the cards that I created. So this is one, and this little stamp set is in that little message is in there. So I did this first card, and in this card I used the stamp set again, and it fits perfectly over, if you can see in the background, the 3D embossing folder. And this is my jewel, and it does not, I mean, it might look beautiful to you here, but when you see this in person, it is striking. And it is a 6, I think it's like 5 by 5.5. This is the first one I did, and I loved it, and I did not want to cut into it to make it a smaller card. So I left it large, but can you imagine receiving this? I think you'd want to frame it, you know, and maybe that's what we'll do. We'll make one of these and frame it so you can see how just absolutely gorgeous it is. So that's the Altenew. So I'm asking if anybody else is interested in this class, shoot me an email or let me know if you haven't signed up so that I can get more kits in. I think I'm going to order them anyways because once people see the cards, they're going to want the kit. And like I said, the parts and pieces are not available individually. It only comes as this kit. And I never kind of like rave about classes, but this one I love. Okay, so I promised you a stencil demonstration, and this is actually a 6-piece layering stencil, and this one is from Pinkfresh, another one of my favorite companies. And I somewhere in my room when I opened the stencil this morning, I left the packaging, but I'm gonna show you how to do these stencils. What I did is I picked out ink pad colors, and this is where I said I really love the IO. They're a hybrid ink. Probably I would say more on the dye side, you know. Sometimes some of the hybrids are a little bit creamier. These are more kind of a dye, so they dry really fast. And you can see that you get this light, medium, and dark selection in their color palettes, and they actually have additional colors that are deeper that you can add to it. I chose to add prize ribbon in my grouping, and I'm actually going to maybe put a little black into it. So I'm going to use this set to create this kind of winter scene background. And let's see. Because if you can see the layers of these trees, that you're going to have the background lighter and it's going to get darker to the foreground. And this is the last stencil, and this will add the snow to it. We're going to put that one off to the side. The stencils are numbered. If you can kind of see in this top little corner, it says stencil 1, and then they have these little corner markings. That's where your paper is going to fit into that. So I'm going to move these off to the side. And I cut my paper 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I think I need to do larger. So let me cut some more paper really quick. I'll just cut. Typically, they all tend to be that size, so I didn't even think to change it. So let's do 4 1/2 by, I'll do 4 1/2 by 6. Sorry about that. Let's see if this will work. So what I'm going to do is, because I didn't pre-measure this, I'm going to make sure that that top left-hand corner is going to match. Actually, I'm going to shimmy it out a bit. I think I'm going to do that. And I should have a pretty good eye to layer them on top. So what I'm going to do, I have my best tape ever. And I'm going to, before I tape that down, when I was talking to Donna in the store, and she was talking about, not liking stencils because, especially as you get bigger, you have all these little edges and pieces. Pixie spray, I'm not going to use it on this one because I don't think this one is going to be an issue. But as we kind of work our way down, I'm probably going to use the pixie spray on some of the stencils to hold those in place. So I like to hold my stencil, and then I'm going to actually put something down to hold my paper in place. And I think what I'm going to do, if I could find a pen, is just kind of mark, when I have a highlighter, I think what I'm going to do is just going to mark my stencil on here. So we're going to start with our light color, because that's going to be in the back. And I have my brushes, and I do really like the Taylor brushes, just for the fact that they're kind of color coded, and so that I know that this is for my light blues, even though you can kind of see the colors that they become as you use them. And then if I need other colors, we have a couple other companies that all these brushes are pretty much the same. One of the things with these brushes is that it may take a little bit longer, and you get less ink when you do it, but you get this soft kind of look. You don't start with a heavy shading. Kim, thanks for helping me monitor. And I'm going to look at stencil 2 to see how far I really have to go down. I don't need to do this whole space because you can see that the next layer is going to just be underneath those trees. So what I like, by putting the little tape at the top like this, I can kind of flip up and see. If I want to go darker, I can. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to do this down in the corner, kind of as a marker, so I know where my stencil is going to go, even though I have my lines at the top, but I can test with that. And because I don't really want to make a mistake, I'm going to put a piece of tape at the top too, so that this is anchored down. I do have one of the Wendy Vecchi boards for stenciling, but I like using my my little paper mat. Okay, so you can see I'm lining up the little corners down here, and I'm using my guide that I have. I'm reusing the tape over and over again. And my next is a light blue, so I'm going to continue with this because it's not a super dark blue. And typically when you use your brushes, by the time you kind of get most of the ink off, there isn't much of a residue. So if I went back to the light, I could, just kind of do it off to the paper to see if my my lighter color comes through. You can also use, I love the microfiber cloths from Pink and Maine. I slightly dampen those off to the side, and if I need to clean my brush, I will. But since I have a bunch of brushes, I'm not going to have to do that. So if we have some new people joining us, thank you for hopping on. And so let's just check it. So you can see how we're going to get a little bit darker and darker again. So let's go to stencil number 3 and see if I have the areas covered enough. I might go back down a little bit more. And I love the fact with these brushes, you get that little darker edge around. I think just over here, just add a little more color. Okay, we'll go on to our next color. And you can see how easy that tape comes off. I found when I'm done cleaning off my stencils, I use rubbing alcohol, and that really gets the ink off really well. So once again, I'm using my little alignment markings that I did, using that best tape ever. And my next color is going to be Prize Ribbon, which is way deeper than the first 2 colors I used, so I'm going to switch my brush. And I have this one. And I'm using the Distress because these are all pretty much, like I said, more of a dye look. And you can see I'm just kind of going in a circular motion. What you can't tell is that I have a very light hand. I start off light and then I add more pressure as I go. I never want to start heavy and then try to blend that out. So when I start, I always start light because I can make it darker. Once you go with a dark mark, you can only go darker. So kind of start, and it's best like to, if you start off. Now I probably should have used some of that pixie spray on this one, but I'm going to be very careful when I'm up in these little edges. And so up here, I want to make sure that I'm covering up that shaded from that background so it's completely solid. And like I say, you can always go back and peek. And I think I'm going to leave these a little bit lighter and darker up here, as you can see, and kind of gradually fade out. So this is going to be the next one. I'll just go down a little further. On these, while I'm doing this, I'm going to get the pixie spray. You have to spray it and kind of give it about 30 seconds, and you're just going to do a just a coating on the back. This is stencil 4. And stencil 5. And what I love about the pixie spray is that there's no caustic fumes, at least that I could tell. I'm really sensitive to a lot of smells. If you guys have ever used spray adhesive, definitely have to do that outside. But this Pixie spray, you can, I don't know, I do it inside and I don't notice any fumes that give me headaches or anything. Like I said, I'm going to go a little darker up here. So there's that layer. This is stencil 4. Once again, let's go back and you can see that, you know, it's fairly easy to use. Oh, my tape. So now we're going to move into this color, and this one is navy. And you can see it's a little deeper than that one. The other thing when I'm inking up, if you can see, I'm holding my finger on top of the brush and I'm holding the handle of the brush. I don't want to go like this because I don't want this to snap and break. So by this kind of, I don't know, holding it this way, I feel like I'm not going to break my handle because I'm actually applying a lot of pressure to get a lot of that ink. Once again, where you can see that where they're overlapping on the last one, we want to go heavy. And I'm going in a circular motion, and you can see that there's a tack holding this down, so I can really get those little treetops. So anybody do anything exciting last night? My husband and I discovered Yellowstone, and so he is just set on every night binge watching. He learned, I think if anything, he learned with COVID what binge watching is. So we're on the last season, and anybody that loves Kevin Costner, he looks amazing in this, and it's a great series. Yeah, there's a lot of profanity and all this other stuff, but it's, you know, with all the stuff on TV, there's not many options, but we're really enjoying it. So you can see that the adhesive works really well, and you can pull it off. So you can see I have that last stencil on there. Even when you wash this, it stays a little bit tacky, and it's fine. And the next time I go to use this stencil, I won't have to put any spray on it because it kind of stays there, but it doesn't affect, you know, using it over and over again, having that little tackiness on there. And so we're in the last grouping. So with this one, I'm going to continue to use this blue that I have. And I'm going to go really hard, and I'm going to bring a little bit of black into it. I don't know how many of you have discovered stencils, but these layering stencils are amazing. Now this one's probably going to look very similar to the last one, so this is why we're going to add the black. I could have looked for another stencil, but I just wanted to show you sometimes, you know, don't forget you have black, and that will give you some, you know, depth to it. So let's lift this up. Oh, so I can see that I have, it is darker here already. So let me just go and add very little black. What I'm going to do is actually bring this brush into the blue, kind of get some blue in there and mix a little black into it. And then just at the tops of those trees and around this bottom, just add a little bit of black. I don't separate them. I don't. If they stick together, you can pull them apart. I mean, I haven't had, after I wash them, and it's not like you can see it's not like it's a super tacky stick. Like it's not difficult to pull them apart. It's kind of a light tack. Oh, that you're right. Maybe I'll make my husband a card. And once again, to check out the black, so that I don't overdo it. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit down here at the bottom. But there you go. This is a casualty of stenciling. So you want to make sure that your hands are clean. If there's especially a lot of white space, after you're done with this. This is the last stencil that they have. And this one is actually going to put white back into the treetops. So, and I'll probably do another stencil for the story so you can see it with the white and without, because this is beautiful just as such, and I think greens would be beautiful. So maybe I'll do another one in greens. I was thinking purples, and that's the other thing. You could just make them any color. This is Paper Glitz. It's a new type of paste, and this is from Picket Fence, and I never used it, but I don't know if you could see. I don't know how to describe it. It is glittery in the fact that it's a bit shiny, but it's not glitter in there. I don't know. It almost looked mica-ish to me. So we're going to, if I can open this. I put hand cream on just before. Let me see what Mark's doing. I'll see if he can get this off. Hey, Mark. Mark, can you open this? What's that? Can you open this? Hurry up. No, hurry up. Hurry up. Try to open it. Get it? We might have to use glitter, guys. Did you get it open?
No.
Oh.
I put it under water.
Well,
Let me see if I can.
he can't get it open, so we're going to use my old standby, the Polar White, which is actually my favorite texture. It's a sparkle texture paste from Creative Expressions. And I know people have come in and asked for other pastes. You guys have to try Creative Expressions paste. They are amazing. So the thing with paste, you don't want to go back and forth too many times, and you don't want to go over and over because we don't want it to kind of ooze out underneath. But I did put the Pixie spray, which will help. I don't know if this is going to be white enough. I think the other one was going to be whiter, so we'll see. And I actually am going to put this on a little thicker so that we get texture on those the snow. One of the things you have to remember, and I have to leave you again for a second, just go through this in my bathroom sink. We want to wash our stencils when we're using paste right away. So there's just the snow on top of that. So I just threw that stencil in my bathroom sink, and I just put some water in there and let it soak and I'll clean that one up later. But here is that stencil. And people are always asking about cards for men. Like, here you go. I mean, just put your sentiment on it. So on Wednesday, I'll show you what I did to finish this card off. I'll do another one maybe in the greens without the snow on it and show you how that one turns out. So this is the Pink Fresh, and what I'll do is if I finish this over the weekend, I'll post it to Facebook with the packaging so you see the name of the stencil from Pink Fresh. Okay. So the other thing I had mentioned that I would show you is we got new alcohol inks in from American Crafts. And I think they should be fine. Alcohol ink, I don't know that there's different qualities of alcohol ink, so I would think they would all kind of work. And what's nice about this is that you get like coordinating color combinations. So this is kind of like a teal, a darker blue, and a purple. So let's open this up. Now the only thing I forgot was my Yupo paper. So what I did is I went through my drawers and found a stash of a variety of other papers that we'll see if they take to alcohol ink. You cannot use regular cardstock. You need something with a coating, and it's usually a clay coating. There are synthetic papers. The Yupo is this synthetic, doesn't have a clay coating, but some kind of synthetic paper. But I found this plasticky, it might be a stencil paper to make stencils. So we'll try that. I found this kind of foil paper, has a texture, but I thought that would be like really cool. So we'll see what we get with that. I did have a white chrome coat cardstock, but I couldn't find it in smooth. So this one has kind of like a little line texture. So what the heck? Let's give it a shot. And this is a cardstock. Does have kind of a glossy finish. It's almost kind of like pearly underneath. So let's just play. So the only thing I'm going to add to this, this is Liftoff. Oh, let me see if I have any alcohol. Oh, I only have 70%. This is what I use for cleaning my stencils, just 70%. But there is a 90% alcohol, which works with your alcohol inks. Let me just see if I have any alcohol. Well, I don't have any blending solution. It's at the store, so we're just going to use these straight on. And let's start with that plastic paper that I had. Oh, don't tell me that they have a little... Maybe I should read the directions. There's no directions. There might be a little stopper in there that is preventing it from leaking. So what I'm going to do, I have these at my workstation all the time. These little T-pens. Oh, here we go. Whoop. Or you can see how the difference, it's kind of like spreading into, that was the kind of pearly cardstock. It's just really sitting on this paper. What I'm going to do, this is just cardstock. See how it just absorbs, it doesn't do anything? Let's see what happens if it's going to dry on there. We have that plastic already, and let's try some of this like foil. I would not, I don't know if you're supposed to snip off the top, but I think I'm happier that I just took a pin to prick the top of it to get a little bit of a hole, because you don't want a big area to pour. And this is, it's a pretty color. And the last color is, this is going to be beautiful, the peacock. Oh, I didn't do the, we'll go back and do this chrome coat. Oop. Just be careful that, kind of reminds me a little bit of Ranger's The Stream, which is one of my favorite colors. When I go back with the blending solution or the stronger alcohol, rubbing alcohol, these colors will still blend, and I'll be able to So this is, if you can see the difference, I don't know if you can tell when I was doing this, this kind of just soaked into the paper like it did just a regular cardstock. So whatever finish is on here is not built up enough to just have the inks lay on top of it. So let me put that, I'm going to find where I put my little cap. And we'll just add some of these colors. But this plastic definitely worked. And this actually, this paper, the color is staying bright and vivid, and so is this. This actually looks cool. Might be a cool background. So we'll see what I end up doing with these. Just to show you, this is the 80%. This probably is not going to be. We'll do it on here because it's plastic, so the, let me just see if I could just get a little, I'm actually sorry, I'm blowing into the phone. You can do that same thing, it's better with a straw. But this really isn't moving the color so much as the 90% rubbing alcohol would. The other thing is you do not want to put this in a mister. Don't put that. You don't want to breathe in any of those fumes from the rubbing alcohol. Let's see what happens if I put a spot of the color on top of that. If anything happens. Yeah, it really doesn't work like a blending solution would. So, but the colors are beautiful. I really like it on this kind of foil paper. It is a nice color combination. This one looks like a mess. But on Wednesday, you'll be surprised what I did with it. I think once I get some blending solution on there, it'll look really cool. Okay, so those are the new American Crafts alcohol inks. And I think what we'll do is I will continue this on Wednesday and bring these in and actually do a second one so you can see number 1, number 2, and then 3 what I did. And then I'll show you these colors again with some blending solution and some things that you can do with alcohol ink, some basic alcohol ink techniques and projects. So I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? Since it is the new year, we are, going to do something new this year. We have a new program that I'm just going to mention, and we'll have an email on this new program. And it is our die cut program. So the cost for 1 year, and it's 1 calendar year. So if you start out on January 1st, it's good till January 1st next year. If you start out I haven't really figured out the whole thing. Maybe I think it would be best in our best interest to do it in a calendar year, because in case we have to make changes next year. But anyways, this is what's going to happen. So the cost of the program is $79.99. You have to let me know that you want to join and be a member of our die cut club. And what that entitles you to is a discount all year round on our dies. So you will get a 15% everyday discount. You will get a card, and there will be a card for you and a card in our store so that we know that you are a die cut member. And this also includes people that are online. It's going to work a little bit differently online. You need to call the store with your order or email me, but you will get your discount. So you will get a 15% discount on all your dies. That includes pre-order dies, new release dies, and our existing dies. So you'll get an everyday discount of 15%. And then because there's so many things that coordinate with the dies, so if you get a coordinating stamp set, a coordinating glimmer foil plate, or a coordinating stencil, you will get a 10% discount every day on those items too. And that includes if we offer pre-orders, new releases, which we always exclude from any kind of sale. And I think that's it. So the products that go with that, the stencils, the stamps, and now foil plates will include that. You'll get a 10% discount and then the 15 everyday discount on your dies. So if you are interested, you could shoot me an email at buffalostamps@msn.com. You can call the store on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. And like I said, for now, we're going to do it as a calendar year. So it's probably best if you think that's something you want to do, jump on board. And maybe for the people that start in February, we'll have a slightly discounted prorate, and we'll do it as such. But we'll probably send you a PayPal invoice so I can keep those accounts separate, knowing who is in our die cut. And like I said, for the people that live out of town that choose to use our online system, you can you can do me a screenshot of your order, and then we'll call you back with your discounted price. And so that will apply to you also. So we're not going to exclude our online orders. And if we find a better way to do online customers, we'll let you know right away. But hopefully that's something new that you'll want to be a part of in our coming year. We are going to continue doing our Facebook Lives on Wednesday and Saturday. I know you guys like to join and watch, so I appreciate that. Sometimes, like I said, thank God we called it Wing It Wednesday, because sometimes I'm running around the last minute. But I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel, but like I feel like after 2 years of all this kind of craziness that's going on, it's going to be a good year. I feel like I personally am, kind of settled into a routine and kind of just going with the flow. Sometimes I think we all don't like change, but change can be good. And I think we found some good things out of, coming out of this pandemic. And, for me in the store, we definitely did change. The other thing is we are going to continue to do our Zoom classes, even if this pandemic, never ends or whatever. We will offer our Zoom classes because we're finding that there are people out there that are not close or unable to come to our class that would love to join us. One of the hard things about our Zoom classes, I know people have asked if we tape them. We don't. And the reason I don't tape them, and maybe that may change, in this coming year, is because it's also a social event for the ladies that join us. There's a lot of chit chat and, we've become friends and we've taken on, new people that have joined our Zoom classes have become friends and so on. So I think, if you're new to it and looking to have it taped, I don't know if you want to listen to all our little conversations, but maybe we'll do like a short version, and like I talked about, is putting those on our YouTube channel so that you have access to that information. So now that I'm in a better kind of place, maybe that can be my goal for this year. A couple of other things coming up. Super Bowl Sunday, we are going to have our annual Super Bowl Sunday party, and we're planning on having it in the store, and maybe we can do Zoom. So for those of you that would like to join us for our Super Bowl party, and we are having our Maker Mania coming up in February, so we have a couple spots for that left. There's kits available for that. We have a lot of classes coming up, and so take a look at our calendar. Kim's working on a couple others, so look for that. And at the end of February, we're going to have our winter stamp camp. So kind of look forward to those kind of things. And we're open to suggestions. If anybody has any class ideas or things they'd like us to see or do, especially on Facebook, kind of like just, shoot me an email, message me, whatever. We'd love to hear what you'd like to see, because usually if there's one of you, there's more than one. So that's all I have to say. Anybody have anything to share? So if not, I am going to let you go. I have a couple errands that I'm going to do today, but the rest of today and tomorrow are going to be actually just being in my room, creating, kind of working with these. I'll do another stencil and put that out there. First, I'm going to try to clean my hands. And then let's see what else I have planned. Oh, cleaning my room. I would show you my room, but oh my gosh, you guys have seen the back of my table at the store. I'm trying something new. I have a little cart now that has all our stuff on it, so I can pull it out and put it in. But that's what my room is, like 10 times fold, because I have 1,001 projects going on. I had the layout class here, and then I have a Copic class here, and I've got, I want to do a Penny Black, and then I got to do Heartfelt Creation. So I have a lot of things going on in my room. Maybe someday I'll share it with you, but not today. Maybe after this weekend, if I can put a couple hours in and clean it, maybe I can kind of share with you. But right now, no, probably looks like a lot of your rooms. So I'm no different from you. So anyways, everybody, I hope this year brings us a lot of good things. Health for everyone, and just, let's all pray and hope that this year is going to be better than the last two. I kind of see it kind of getting better, and let's just remain positive, and we'll see you on Wednesday. everyone, Happy New Year and have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me.